bureaucrat's gonna bureaucrat, starting to believe this free pass thing a little bit, it's starting to feel that way. I got some sympathy for you XRP guys. Yeah, I'm being pushed into that corner. I really am. I don't know about that. A little cray-cray. Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. And boy, oh boy, what do we have here today? We have Charles Hoskinson from Cardano finally beginning to see the light. You see, guys, as you all saw, I had an interview with Charles Hoskinson a couple days ago discussing the potential of ETHgate and what the XRP community has been going through. And I believe he is starting to begin to see what we've been discussing for a long time. Something that I do want every single one of us in the XRP army to embody is speaking to people with respect. Because let me tell you something right now. There are some times where communicating on the cesspit of Twitter can bring on miscommunication. And that's probably why Charles Hoskinson didn't like the XRP army for a while. But after speaking with him respectfully, I'm sure he was more open to hearing our point of view. I think being listened to and also being respectful is a very important way to communicate to the world. And I think the XRP community is finally getting their message across to the mainstream crypto community. This is very important for our future. And God bless Charles for finally seeing the light. We all have always been in this together. There has always been a free pass and conflicts of interest. And now we're getting one of the biggest players in the game finally beginning to acknowledge that. Don't underestimate the power that the XRP army has. Because, like I said before, I'll say again, we may not have seen our price action in the 2021 bull run that we wanted, but we've been absolutely correct with the fundamentals and the truth about what the reality of the crypto market is. And at some point, truth and fundamentals will outweigh speculative price action. Speculative price action would have told you that Dogecoin and Shiba Inu are the best cryptos of 2021. Speculative price action would tell you that Pepe is the best crypto in the market in 2023. But the truth and fundamentals will tell you that XRP and utility-based assets will be the best cryptos on the planet once the next cycle comes. And I promise you, it's almost here. And ladies and gentlemen, from ISO 20022, let's do it. We have Kristen Robertson from Ripple partner Finastra stating that another magical innovation is here. July 20th is when it's being speculated that Fednow will officially launch, and this real-time payment system in the United States will be a precursor to CBDCs and eventually the interoperability and cross-border payments niche that XRP solves, in my opinion. This is just an initial step, and hearing these words from a Ripple partner validates a lot about what we've been discussing for a while. We're getting out of the speculative crypto market and getting into the regulated CBDC style system.
Here, Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome back to our show. And on today's program, we have Kristen Robertson from the fine organization called Finastra. Kristen, how are you today? Good to see you.
I'm doing just fine, Mike. Nice to see you as well.
Yay. Well, today we're talking about a super fascinating topic that I'm going to be all transparent here, that I just basically found out about. My gosh, I'm in the financial services industry. Why did I not know this? But anyway, I digress on that. The Federal Reserve's new payments rail called Fednow, which is going to be starting up, I think in July. Is that correct, Kristen? Somewhere?
July 20th is the magic day where
that's the big day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're talking to you today about how Finastra is going to be working with credit unions and community banks to help them prepare for what's about to happen here.
Not only do we have the speculated launch date of when Fednow is going to go live. But Volante, another Ripple partner, has been selected as a service provider for Fednow and Fedwire. Here's a clip of Volante discussing their partnership with Ripple. And Volante customers can access XRP through its partnership. Understand where the world is going and how deeply ingrained Ripple and eventually XRP will be to the next generation financial system. And you'll never have a question about why you hold this digital asset again.
Detail and depth in the particular products. I know that there's a lot of new things that you're working on. Some things that you'd like to share with us.
Sure. Today, I think we have announced one more product which helps the latest technology, blockchain technologies, with these open ledger technologies. We are already it's just out for the last few months, I guess, with one of the companies called Ripple. And we have already partnered with them, and we have a working product in which we have demoed it here. And we are going to demo that to a lot of our customers as well. And we are getting a lot of good traction there, saying customers have looked at it, and they're saying this is great because it's when they're thinking about these things, when we show the solution, they really love it.
You know, very interesting for me because, of course, as you mentioned, blockchain is getting a lot of coverage, and I think a lot of people still associate it very much with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and that might not have given the right image of blockchain. So it's really refreshing to hear that there's other applications in financial services, and that you've actually brought some of that into the market. I'd like to hear a little bit more.
Again, you're absolutely right, because blockchain has been associated with Bitcoin. A lot of people have not been looking at other things, but I think now the knowledge of blockchain technology is becoming a little more popular, and people are learning more on how it can be used, right from the securities market to the payments market, the settlements and all that. I think as we go forward, again, there will be a lot of excitement regarding that, and there will be a lot of new players, and eventually there will be shake-up, and then some of the leading players will settle down as the leading leaders. But what we are trying to do is, it really doesn't matter which vendor you go with, which technologies we go with. Our architecture itself is built in such a way that I would like to use this phrase called future-proof, which will support you as the technologies change or industry change, but you'll be able to address it in a very agile fashion to address those needs as you go forward.
Now guys, what I want to point out to all of you is that this Fednow system is on standby for all of us to eventually have to look and witness and adopt. But here, this is what's so interesting. From Good Morning Crypto, former SEC Chair Jay Clayton stated that blockchain adoption is long overdue. But also remember, Clayton is the one who filed the Ripple lawsuit just days before exiting the SEC. In his own words, the system needs an upgrade. But what's so hilarious is that he chose to sue the company that is quite honestly helping and solving the use case he believes the United States needs to adopt. He was financially incentivized by ETH to sue Ripple, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the XRP army as a whole. What's also crazy is every single one of us know and understand that the powers that be need to try their best to disincentivize us from getting rich from this opportunity. They don't want us to make money. They don't want us to invest in revolutionary technology. They try and sue exchanges. They want to make sure US investors cannot access exchanges to get high quality digital assets at low values. They want to sue XRP so it's delisted from every exchange in the United States except Uphold. They want to make it very hard for you to gain access and to wealth building opportunities. And that's what's so frustrating, and hearing the hypocrisy of Jay Clayton's statements. He knows Ripple and XRP are going to make a dent in the universe. And I think he needed to stop them in his tracks because he's just getting his marching orders from the incumbents and the powers that be.
With all of that, what else is going on right now is the traditional financial system is looking at crypto, or is looking at blockchain as a potential upgrade across the financial system that is probably long overdue. It does not make a lot of sense that it takes 2 and 3 and 10 and 15 days for transactions to settle in today's electronic world. And when interest rates were 0, that was not a lot of money. When interest rates are more normalized, it is a lot of money.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that does sound a lot like a little company and digital asset we all know and love. But I think I understand why Jay Clayton did what he did. From Crypto Cowboy, it states, to really boil it down, Ripple is competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of Swift, because we're both a messaging and liquidity company. That is very powerful. These people feel threatened. They had to try and build their own alternative and ultimately failed. But Ripple had to go through the quicksand because they are a disruptor. They are disrupting the financial system. The banks and the rest of the planet weren't ready for Ripple. But Ripple has been dotting their I's and crossing their T's and has been preparing for the world, while the world has been realizing more and more that they've been needing Ripple and XRP.
Messages to banks that have liquidity. So to some degree, Citibank and HSBC, really the top two, JPM, those are the top three liquidity banks. And when you're sending Swift messages, you're sending messages to banks to release liquidity and making sure the debits and credits match. So to some degree, really boil it down, Ripple's competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of Swift, but in one, because we're both messaging and liquidity.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I can echo this sentiment. And that is the fact that the XRP community feels like we have been singled out and targeted. And that is the case. Ripple and XRP have been targeted. But the reason we've been targeted is because we have been chosen. And we were chosen a long time ago. We were chosen because we chose to fix a banking problem. We were chosen because we chose to work with regulators. We chose to meet with the BIS, to collaborate with the IMF. We chose to work on CBDCs, build an infrastructure for CBDC adoption, give the banks the private ledger they wanted. We were chosen because we had a single use case in cross-border payments and are now adapting to fill an NFT and smart contract niche. XRP's technology is continuously expanding and expanding and expanding and copying and pasting the best of other blockchains to build out the best of all worlds onto the best cross-border payments technology on the planet. Oh, we're looking for world domination when it comes to this digital asset. So despite the fact that the XRP army has been bullied and targeted, despite the fact that we haven't seen the profits we've wanted or deserved, it's because we're going to be the first digital asset on the planet with full-blown clarity, and we won't have to face the lawsuits that Coinbase and Binance and eventually all these other cryptos are going to have to go through. Oh, it's been a rough couple years, but we're heading into the best years of our fucking lives, and I can't stress that enough. XRP will roll out and go on a full-blown moon mission when the time is right and when a crisis presents itself for XRP to solve. And if you don't understand that, I'll leave you with this from the Black Swan capitalist. As liquidity markets face mounting pressure, trust that XRP clarity will be given at the perfect moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
We're going to get to a point, we may be there, where the crisis is actually bigger than the Fed, bigger than the Fed's ability to stop.
So the mess we're seeing in the market is about liquidity. We haven't priced liquidity risk, we haven't priced credit risk, we haven't priced market functioning risk. We are still in the process of pricing it. But what we are seeing happening is liquidity risk. Liquidity risk is being priced in.
If that deteriorates, the collateral base shrinks, liquidity plunges, and markets drop. That's the big risk.
More importantly, I think, is how liquidity, and today, as many in the fintech community know, banks pre-fund accounts. There's almost $10 trillion parked as pre-funded accounts around the world such that banks can then debit and credit and make those cross-border flows work. We have a product that allows banks, allows financial institutions, payment providers to not pre-fund, thus making that trillions of dollars more active. And we think by doing this, we really do accelerate the global engine of commerce.
Yeah, I'm excited to announce that, this morning, 9 a.m., we announced our newest product called Liquidity Hub. And in 2018, we started sourcing liquidity for moving cross-border payments from crypto exchanges. How many crypto developers do we really know out there that know how to securely source liquidity?
And how to use XRP as on-demand liquidity.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.